Sleeptight Storytime presents Librarian on the Roof, a true story by M.G. King, illustrated by Stephen Gilpin, read by Miss Irene from the Ingleside Public Library. In Lockhart, Texas, stood an old library, the oldest in the whole state. 100 years ago, everyone in town visited the Dr. Eugene Clark Library to check out good books and the latest news. Crowds came to hear bands play and school children sing in front of its giant stained glass windows. But over the years, the books grew old and dusty, and people found newer, flashier places to go. The library grew quiet. One day, its creaky doors whooshed open. "Good morning!" RoseAleta Laurel, the new librarian, arrived with a clatter of heels on the floor and eyelashes as long as bird feathers. Her laugh rattled the stained glass. "Shh!" whispered a library worker. "Don't disturb the readers." "Ah, horse feathers! What readers?" RoseAleta did not whisper. The staff looked around but couldn't find a reader anywhere. After RoseAleta arrived, the Eugene Clark began to change. New books and magazines arrived. She told funny stories that made the staff laugh. The library was no longer quiet. "Everyone should love coming to the library," said RoseAleta. "The rich, the poor, the farmers, the town folk. We're here for grown-ups and for children. By the way, where are the children?" No one knew. That year, RoseAleta planned a Christmas party for the whole town, wearing the largest hat anyone had ever seen. She led the parade around the square. "What's on your hat?" a little girl asked. "My pet doves," RoseAleta said. "Come visit them in the library." But after the party, the children still didn't come. "The library is for grown-ups," they said. "The children need a place in our library just for them," RoseAleta told her staff. "We need more books. Picture books, mystery books, adventure books. We need tables just the right size, comfy chairs, colorful artwork, and computers. Lots of families around here can't afford computers." "Where would we get the money?" the others asked. "I'll write letters and ask for donations," said RoseAleta. RoseAleta wrote plenty of letters to big businesses and important people, but no one sent any money. "We could have a bake sale," someone suggested. "We need $20,000 and we won't get it selling cookies," said RoseAleta. "We need the whole town involved. Here's my plan, but I'll need your help." RoseAleta packed essentials, which included a tent, a bullhorn, a laptop, 2 cell phones, and a slingshot. On a Monday morning, the staff stood outside around RoseAleta. "Be safe, RoseAleta. We'll send you anything you need," they promised. When people in the streets heard where she was going, they had questions. How would she sleep? What will she eat? "What I want to know," exclaimed one little boy, "is how she's going to go to the bathroom." RoseAleta turned to him without batting an eyelash. "Librarians are very resourceful people," she replied. Then RoseAleta stepped into the bucket of the electric company truck. Up, 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 50 feet up, she stepped out of the bucket onto the roof. A city official came by, startled to find the town librarian on the roof. He shouted, "Miss Laurel, we pay you to be inside the library, not on top of it. What are you doing?" She pulled out her bullhorn and addressed the gathering crowd. "I will stay on this roof until we have raised enough money for our children's section." News spread. After school, the children came to see RoseAleta perched there. The other librarians never camped on the roof, they said. RoseAleta launched water balloons with her slingshot while the children danced and played all afternoon on the library steps. In the evening, she blew them kisses and disappeared inside the tent. When the staff returned on Tuesday morning, RoseAleta already sat outside, working on her reports. They put her breakfast in a bucket and she pulled it up, 50 feet up. She ate blueberry muffins while the birds sang in the treetops below. The town official came by again. RoseAleta, stop this nonsense right now. We are a respectable town. We simply cannot have librarians falling off the roof. Horse feathers. Respectable towns have librarians filled with children. RoseAleta didn't budge. The high school band played and the cheerleaders cheered. Visitors and reporters arrived from everywhere to see Lockhart's daring librarian. The storekeepers and the hotel owners came to thank RoseAleta for bringing them business. They all left donations. The school children sent a pickup truck overflowing with coins they had collected for their library. On Wednesday, an employee called RoseAleta's cell phone. We just got a check for $10,000. Won't you come down? $10,000 is a lot of money, but it's not enough, said RoseAleta. I never do anything halfway. On Thursday, the sky clouded over and rain began to fall. RoseAleta grew cold and wet, but she still refused to leave the roof. On Friday, it poured down harder. The wind tugged the tent lines. The library staff started to worry. They sloshed out the door and stood in puddles up to their shins. Please come down, they begged. It's getting worse. RoseAleta shook her head and crawled back inside her tent. Saturday afternoon, the sky turned green and the wind shifted. The news station warned of tornadoes. The whole town of Lockhart feared for their beloved librarian. All night long, great gusts blasted across the roof. RoseAleta held onto the slippery rail with all her might. On Sunday morning after the storm, everyone rushed outside. RoseAleta, are you still up there? Of course, she said. A librarian always stays on top of things. You did it! Someone yelled. We have over $39,000, all for the children's area of our library. The crowd cheered for RoseAleta. RoseAleta climbed into the electric company's bucket. Her clothes dripped and her eyelashes drooped, but she smiled at all who greeted her on her way back down. You mean we did it, she said, the whole town together. Today, if you look through the front windows of the Eugene Clark Library, you will see shelves stacked full with children's books and tables and chairs just the right size. You will see artwork on the walls and a row of busy computers. Best of all, you will always find crowds of children who love to read and learn inside the walls of the oldest library in Texas. The end. Good night, sleep tight, and remember to visit your local library.
Well, rain or shine, the loony librarian of Lockhart is going to toe the line. The line on top of the Lockhart Public Library, that is. It's a follow-up to a story we first brought you last night. RoseAleta Laurel is staying on the roof of her library until she raises $20,000 for construction. And after one full day on the roof, she raised more than $5,000, which basically came from passerbyers.
Very nice. New at 6 to 9. How far would you go to raise money for a good cause? How about camping out on top of a library until you raise $20,000? It's actually going on in the small town of Lockhart near Austin. News 4 San Antonio's Martha Trevino has the story.
It's the oldest continually operating library in the state of Texas.
This is the 100-year-old Dr. Eugene Clark Library this small town is trying to renovate.
I think it's awful and we need to get her down.
And librarian RoseAleta Laurel is leading the charge from high above. Since Monday, she's been keeping busy checking email and camping out on top of the library's dome.
I really want to shower and wash my hair.
Trying to raise $20,000.
Good luck.
Bye, thank you.
She's more than halfway there. She's received $11,000, and Lockhart residents say it's definitely worth a try.
And it's for the kids. That's what it's for.
In case you're wondering why she didn't use a more conventional way to raise money,
People do things all the time to raise money. This was just, it came to me in a dream.
RoseAleta's efforts have gotten much publicity, as you can imagine. She doesn't mind the fame as long as she's bringing in the cash.
We've got pledges coming in from libraries all over the state.
And with a little luck, she'll get the money she wants and will be dancing all the way to the bank. Martha Trevino, News 4, San Antonio.
Okay, the total cost of the renovation is about $300,000. If you would like to help, just call 512-398-2960. You can call 24 hours a day, anytime. She's always there. Again, that's area code 512-398-2960.
Well, she said she'd go all the way to the top to raise money for her city's library, and she's held to her word 1 week later. RoseAleta Laurel is trying to raise $20,000 needed for construction work on Lockhart's main library. The 100-year-old building needed improvements in the children's area, so RoseAleta figured camping out on top of the building would be a good way to get donations. Well, along with the folks in Lockhart, she says San Antonio has been a big supporter. As of today, the librarian has raised $13,900.
And time to check in with our loony librarian in Lockhart. RoseAleta Laurel is still on the roof, saying she won't come down till she raises $20,000 for a children's section of the library there. So far, she's raised $13,000, so she doesn't have far to go. She's been up there since Monday. And pouring rain didn't stop the loony librarian from completing her goal. RoseAleta Laurel spent an entire week atop the Clark Public Library in Lockhart. She braved the wet weather to raise $31,000 for the library's children's section. That's $11,000 more than needed. Laurel says she is more than happy to help and is thrilled, I'm sure, to be back on the ground, especially after all this